Imagine it's a quiet Tuesday night in 2026. You're sitting on your couch, 5 different subscriptions quietly billing your account in the background. Streaming, software, groceries delivered monthly, car membership, cloud storage, even your mattress is financed in installments. Nothing feels dramatic. It's all manageable. Each payment is small enough to ignore. But when you open your banking app and scroll through the charges, you notice something unsettling. Your entire lifestyle runs on monthly commitments. You don't really own the music, the movies, the software, the car, sometimes not even the phone in your hand. Access has replaced ownership. And somewhere in that shift, the American dream followed the same model. It didn't disappear, it just became a subscription. For decades, the dream was about accumulation. Own a home, own a car, build equity, retire with assets. Ownership symbolized permanence. It meant you had arrived. But permanence is expensive in 2026. So instead of owning, we finance. Instead of buying outright, we lease. Instead of building slowly, we subscribe quickly. The payments feel lighter because they're divided into manageable pieces. Psychologically, small recurring charges hurt less than one large upfront cost. Behaviorally, that makes us more likely to say yes. This is where psychology quietly merges with finance. Human beings are wired to focus on monthly affordability rather than total cost. A $1,200 monthly payment feels digestible compared to a $400,000 price tag. A $70 monthly car subscription feels easier than acknowledging the long-term depreciation curve. The system understands this. Companies optimize pricing around what you can tolerate per month, not what builds your long-term wealth. So the dream adapts. Instead of asking, can you afford to own this, it asks, can you afford this per month? Zoom out and you see the deeper economic pattern. Asset prices have risen faster than wages in many sectors. Real estate, education, healthcare, vehicles. The gap between income and outright ownership widened. To bridge that gap, financing expanded. Subscription models exploded. Installment plans normalized. Access became democratized, but ownership concentrated. Corporations hold the assets, individuals hold the payments. And here's the subtle shift that changes everything. When your life is structured around recurring obligations, your income must remain equally recurring. Stability becomes mandatory. Risk becomes dangerous. Quitting a job feels heavier when 10 automatic payments are scheduled to draft next week. Entrepreneurship looks less romantic when fixed monthly costs are stacked high. The subscription model doesn't just reshape spending, it reshapes behavior. It encourages predictability over experimentation. Think about housing. Many people rent indefinitely, not because they lack ambition, but because ownership requires capital that feels unreachable. So rent becomes a permanent subscription to shelter. Think about cars. Instead of buying and driving for 10 years, people lease or finance repeatedly, always inside a payment cycle. Even education, once viewed as a finite investment, often turns into decades of loan payments. The dream used to end with ownership. Now it often continues as obligation. But it doesn't feel oppressive at first. That's the brilliance of it. Each individual payment seems reasonable. You enjoy the convenience, the upgrades, the seamless digital experience. Life feels modern, frictionless. Yet beneath the surface, something changes in your relationship with money. Instead of building assets that reduce future expenses, you maintain access that guarantees future expenses. Your financial life becomes a series of renewals. The philosophical tension here is profound. Ownership represented control. Subscription represented permission. When you own something outright, your cost decreases over time. When you subscribe, the cost continues as long as you participate. And participation becomes mandatory because opting out feels like downgrading your life. Cancel the streaming services and you lose entertainment. Cancel the car lease and you lose mobility. Cancel the software and you lose productivity. The modern world is designed to make opting out uncomfortable. From a financial standpoint, this creates a quiet wealth divide. Those who own productive assets, businesses, real estate, equities, receive recurring income. Those who subscribe provide recurring income. The flow of money reveals the hierarchy. The American dream once implied moving from labor to ownership. In 2026, many remain in perpetual access mode, consuming rather than accumulating. But here's where the realization shifts from discouraging to empowering. The problem isn't subscriptions themselves. Some are efficient, some genuinely improve quality of life. The issue is unconscious accumulation. When you stack too many recurring obligations without building recurring income, you trap yourself in maintenance mode. Your financial energy goes towards sustaining lifestyle rather than expanding freedom. The powerful perspective shift is this. The dream was never about the house, the car, or the gadgets. It was about autonomy, about reaching a point where your life isn't dictated by constant payments. If the modern economy has turned everything into a subscription, then the countermove isn't rejection, it's ownership of something that pays you back. Equity in businesses, investments that compound, skills that increase leverage, assets that reduce dependency over time. In 2026, the American dream hasn't died, it's been restructured. It's sold in monthly installments, wrapped in convenience, optimized for affordability. But if you look deeper, you realize the true dream was never about affording the monthly fee. It was about outgrowing it. The moment you shift from asking, "Can I afford this per month?" to "Does this move me closer to owning my time?" you step outside the subscription mindset. And that's when the dream transforms again, not into something you rent from the system, but something you design on your own terms.